Hello, Falcon fans, and welcome to a Thanksgiving week edition of This Week in Falcons Athletics presented by Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. My name is Matt Menzel. We'll talk ACHA hockey in our second segment. But first, we talk men's hockey, and Derek Humphreys, junior forward, kind enough to join us as the men's hockey team is coming off a split against Lake Forest, but winning a shootout to reclaim the Battle Border Cup against the Foresters. And let's begin by talking about Friday's victory, a Friday win from the Ozaki Ice Center by a 6-3 final. Fell behind 2-0, came back, tied things up, down 3-2, but responded by scoring the last 4 goals in that victory. In your opinion, what was the difference in that comeback win?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it wasn't the start that we wanted. Kind of falling behind early on in the game wasn't real great or anything that we liked, but I mean, the team responded really well late in the game, coming back 4 unanswered goals. I think that's just a testament to how resilient we are as a team.
I was going to say, it looks like, at least when you look at the box scores and if you've seen the team play in action, when this team falls behind or even, jumps in front, it seems like there's no panic in this team. It seems like no matter what the situation may be, you guys do have a response more often than not.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're not looking at the scoreboard too often. We're just sticking to our systems and playing the best we can in any given situation.
In that game on Friday, you came through with a couple of goals. Were you pleased with your play on Friday?
Yeah, I mean, anytime I can help the team produce for the team in any way I can, yeah, absolutely. I mean, but other than that, it was just a good team effort out there.
Saturday was a loss at Lake Forest by the final score of 4-3. Falcons jumped in front 1-0, 2-1, 3-2, and it seems like every time you guys took a lead, they had a response. What did you feel was the difference on Saturday?
Saturday, I felt it was just kind of a weird game, kind of a weird start, but I mean, overall, I thought we had parts of the game where we played really well, and then I think overall we just there were some points in the game late, obviously, where it kind of got away from us, but I think, going down the road, if we just kind of smooth out those mental lapses, we're going to be fine.
And then you pull out the shootout by a 1-0 score. How odd is that? Okay, you lose the game, but you win the shootout, so it's like you lose the game, but you still won the Border Battle Cup, so is it bittersweet? How do you explain what maybe the feeling was after Saturday?
Right. I mean, obviously we wanted to go home with a win, but I mean, at least we didn't go home empty-handed. That was one of the smaller wins, I would say. Kind of getting that shootout was definitely a smaller moral victory for us.
And on Saturday for you, helping out with the first goal of the game, describe that goal.
I saw Mequan, he was kind of behind the D guy coming up, and I was like, hey, maybe if I put a little pressure on him, he might slow up, and sure enough he did, kind of turn backwards. Mequan was quick enough to get a stick on it, turn the puck over, and I just kind of stopped in front there and hoped he'd get the puck across, and sure enough he did. So it was a great play by Mequan there.
Absolutely, though. A great weekend for you as well. And overall, you have 6 goals and 4 assists on the season. Take us through this, now your junior campaign. What was the preparation going into the season, and do you like the way you've been playing in these first few weeks?
Yeah, I mean, over the summer, it wasn't anything super glamorous. I was working as an order picker, long days in the warehouse. And, after that, I'm going home and spending a lot of time in the gym, working out, shooting pucks. So, I mean, it wasn't anything real fun, but there's a lot of work that had to be done, and sure enough, I was up for the task. So,
do you have a different mindset now being an upperclassman on this roster?
My mindset now is just show the younger guys kind of the ropes and how we play hockey here, and really just kind of helping lead them through this process.
And you look at the record right now, okay, the team's 3-6 and 2-4 in NCHA play, which I don't think is really telling of how good this team is, and there's been some tough breaks along the way early on, but I guess your feelings on the way the first, few weeks have gone for the team.
Yeah, I think obviously we ran into a tough team when we played Trine, but I thought that was kind of good for us to kind of get our feet wet, against some really good competition. And obviously the past couple of weeks splitting with MSOE and Lake Forest was a step in the right direction. I think we can definitely do better as a team, instead of, closing out games. I think we're looking more at closing out weekends and the series.
A lot of things that I've heard about with this men's hockey team is all about the chemistry off the ice, building that, that team bonding during the off season on into the season. How do you feel like the chemistry's been developing?
Yeah, the chemistry's been awesome. I mean, we hang out as a team all the time. We especially preseason, we were all basically always together. And other than that, not just practice. We're trying to do nights where we have the guys over at a house or something, and just getting together, playing cards. Kind of whatever. So.
And hopefully, again, now the results will start to follow. And you look at this current stretch, and what a stretch it is. Saturday began a stretch of 8 consecutive on the road, not on home ice again until January the 18th. Do you find that challenging? Now, there's obviously a winter break in there somewhere along the way as well, but is this a challenging stretch for you guys?
Absolutely. Obviously, we'd like to be playing at home in front of our home crowd, but yeah, I mean, anytime we're going into another team's barn, it's definitely difficult kind of playing against them and their student body.
So what happens this week, okay, when you look at the schedule? You don't play again until December 6th, December 7th at Dubuque, so do you get a little time off this week? Is it still, preparing for next weekend series?
Yeah, I think this was kind of perfect timing for a little break. The guys get to go spend time with friends and family, which I think is much needed right now. And then, like I said, we can just kind of hit the reset button and come back and hopefully have a good few weekends going into Christmas break.
So to wrap it all up, with Thanksgiving just around the corner, what are you thankful for this year?
I'm just thankful for friends and family and having the support system that I have, like my mom and dad, shout out. And then other than that, just I'm thankful for, the fellas and the boys on the team, kind of just how close-knit we are. And then other than that, just, both the coaches, Coach Masso and Coach Nate, they're doing a great job. So just thankful for everything all around.
Well said, Derek. Thanks a lot for your time. All the best to you and the boys this next, in 2 weeks after this week of a bye, and then off to Dubuque.
All right, thank you.
And again, off to Dubuque on December 6th and 7th. Not home again until January the 18th. When we come back, we focus on ACHA hockey coming off a sweep of Trine. That's on This Week in Falcons Athletics, presented by Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin.
I can't imagine being any other profession than an orthopedic surgeon. We have the privilege and we have the responsibility to make people better. We've been fortunate enough to take care of professional athletes. We've also been fortunate enough to take care of our neighbors and friends who trust us to give them back their life.
One of the main reasons I came here was because this is the way healthcare is meant to be delivered. Being devoted exclusively to orthopedic care means that we can focus on delivering specialized care for every patient. And that includes not only the surgeons and the physicians, but also anesthesia, controlling pain, the nurses, and the scrub techs, and everyone in the recovery is dedicated to treating conditions that are very similar for people.
Our tagline is an uncommon focus on you. We think the focus on the patient experience is what sets us apart. Before we make any process or clinical decision at the hospital, we start with the same question: is this what's best for the patient? If we can't answer yes, we move on to the next idea. Our nurses provide care for no more than 3 patients per shift, whereas other facilities, they might provide care for 7 or even 8 patients per shift. We think this personalized care is what sets us apart from others.
I think that dedication to our patients is our number one focus. And you can technically do a good operation, but if you're not centered on the patient, they're not necessarily going to have a great outcome.
The Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin is physician-owned. It's physician-led. We have the responsibility to make the right decision for every patient. We also have the freedom to make the right decision for every patient.
Physicians and staff collaborate through regular meetings, weekly and monthly, and with a relatively small team, we're able to change the way we do things if we need to tweak something to make it perfect.
The facility specifically was designed so that quality could be measured and maintained and sustained. When you have 7,000 patients a year receive their surgery here, it's important that patient number 1 and patient number 7,000 receive the same care.
We place an extremely high priority on the patient experience here. We send surveys to each and every person that receives care at our hospital. Those survey results come back directly to me. I review them and share them with our senior leadership, as well as the staff and the physicians that provide the care to those patients.
There's almost 5,000 hospitals in the country that are measured. The Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin measures number 1, not number 2, not number 3, not runner-up, number 1 in patient satisfaction in the state of Wisconsin for the last 10 years running.
Welcome back to This Week in Falcons Athletics, presented by Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. We now turn our attention to ACHA hockey, coming off a sweep of trying a quality couple of wins against a central regional ranked team, and winning on Friday 3-1, Saturday 5-4, and being joined by senior forward Nick Roberts. And before we get to the ACHA hockey, I have to ask you, you're listed as being from Ding Dong, Texas.
Yeah.
Ding Dong, Texas. Please tell me about Ding Dong, Texas.
There's not much to say. Population of 22 after I left, 21, and honestly, it's just great to be the first guy in the ACHA out of Ding Dong, Texas.
Where exactly is it located in Texas?
You'll never find it.
Never find it.
Nope, it's a secret town, that's for sure.
Ding Dong, Texas. Look it up. Speaking of ACHA hockey, though, and we mentioned Friday, a victory against Trine, winning 3-1. Huge third period. You assisted a Chuck Emmy goal, the first goal. Thoughts on the way the team played Friday?
Honestly, coming off of last week, getting swept by Marion, it kind of struck us really hard. They always find a way to come out and compete against us. We knew we were the better team that weekend. We just kind of couldn't put it together. So I think coming to practice this last week, really following each other's footsteps and digging deep and treating every day like it's championship weekend, I think that's kind of what led us to getting the ball rolling again and kind of taking it to a ranked Trine team.
Well, we'll talk about Saturday in a second, but since you brought up the weekend losses against Marion, you mentioned the hunger. Okay, so take us through last week in practice and what was that mindset? What was practice like last week in prepping for Trine after those losses against Marion?
We kind of knew that those losses were going to take a big toll on our ranking. We saw the rankings come out, and we knew right away that we kind of earned to take that big of a drop. So we knew going into those practices that if the national tournament is what we want to do again for a third straight year, we got to bring it every day. And that's competing with your teammates. Even though you're teammates, you got to compete. The guy sitting next to you wants your spot just as bad as you want his spot. So showing up every day ready to go and taking it to each other no matter what.
Again, no question, this past weekend, showing up and taking it to Trine with that 3-1 victory Friday, 5-4 on Saturday. That game was 2-2 after 2. What was the thought process going into that third and that 2-2 game?
We've been there before. A lot of our games this year, we've either gone into the third period down or we've gone into it with a tie game. So we've talked about coach down all the way to the players. We play with the mentality that you've been there before. And all throughout this year, we've been there, either a tie game or down. So playing with a loss, playing with a lead, it doesn't matter to us as long as at the end of the day we're getting the win.
And you look at the victory on Saturday, and special teams came up big, 3 for 5 on the power play. Do you like the way special teams have performed this season?
Yeah, honestly, going into this last week of practice, special teams was a big focus. I know in the Marion game, we couldn't really get anything going on power play, struggled a little bit on PK, especially taking penalties. That was a big emphasis going into this week, is giving them the power play is not going to help us. They have a good power play, and we do too. And I honestly think we have one of the best power plays in the nation when we get the puck rolling. And this weekend showed that when we do get moving with the puck and get the right guys on the ice, we're going to score.
And right now, the Falcons with 15 wins, 5 losses, 4-2 in NCHL Black Division play. When you look at the way the team has played, I know there's been some injuries along the way. Chuck Emmy now is back, but then Rex Staudacher, with an injury on Friday. Overcoming some of these injuries, do you like what you've seen outside of that Marion series from the team?
Yeah, honestly, every guy has kind of stepped up, and going into this year, losing as many players as we did last year, a lot of the guys coming into the locker room this year knew we got to step up. Guys who haven't been in those positions before are going to have to step up and take a bigger role. And, yeah, I think injuries is the best way to describe our season so far. We're facing a lot of adversity to begin with, and honestly, I'd rather face it now than as we approach nationals. But I think the team's kind of taking it head on day by day, and we're honestly treating it pretty well.
And one thing I love about this team and the schedules, you don't shy away from good competition. And Shea Klitsky, time and time again, scheduling some of the who's who, and no different coming up in a couple of weeks, taking on Lindenwood, and then a couple of games against Maryville. 3 games in 3 days, December 6th, 7th, and 8th. What's it like to play 3 games in 3 days? I know you guys have done that a couple of times already this season.
Honestly, we're kind of used to it. I know going into college, you're not used to it at all. You play youth tournaments all the time growing up, and those are the best weekends to have because you're with the team all the time. You're there Thursday through Sunday. It's exhausting for sure, but I think our team's kind of built for it. Shea gets us in the gym a lot, gets us right in practice, and just tells us once Nationals hits, it's 5 games in 5 days. So these 3-game weekends are really going to prepare us for that. And I have no doubt in my mind that we're going to get back to that national tournament. And these games are just what's going to get our legs right, our minds right, and get us in the mental preparation for that tournament.
And again, a great opportunity with Lindenwood, as of right now, number 1 in the regional rankings. For you in your senior year, 4 goals, 5 assists so far. You've been pleased with the way you're performing.
Yeah, honestly, I've faced some adversity the last couple of years, bringing in some really good guys. The play time hasn't really been up there for me, but I knew coming into this year, losing as many players as we did last year, I was going to have to step it up. I was going to have to take a bigger role. And just in talking with some of my teammates and talking with Shea, I'm kind of trying to do as much as I can to contribute, whether that's giving the puck to Chuck Emmy and letting him go do his thing, or taking the body when I can and just playing D-zone when I can.
So as mentioned, the team now is off until next weekend with 3 games in 3 days. Won't be on home ice again until the new year against the UW Milwaukee Panthers back in NCHL Black Division play. But to wrap things up for you as we celebrate Thanksgiving this week, what are you most thankful for here in 2024?
Oh, honestly, just family. I know my family's been through a lot this last 6 months, so I can't wait to just go spend a couple days with them and not really focus on anything else besides just time with them.
Well, Nick, enjoy your Thanksgiving and all the best of luck to you and the team coming up a week from this weekend when you guys hit Missouri for 3 games in 3 days.
Oh, yeah. I appreciate the time, honestly, and I hope everyone can keep following us as we try and make a national run again this year.
Absolutely. You can follow on CWFalcons.com. And again, happy Thanksgiving one and all. And when you look at the week ahead for Falcons athletics, a doubleheader of basketball coming up here inside the John Boot Fieldhouse. That's tonight with Wisconsin Lutheran at 5:30. Women's basketball at 7:30 versus Wheaton. Friday, the women's hockey team on Saturday will be in Pennsylvania taking on Kings. Also of note, on Saturday, a men's exhibition game at Northern Michigan. Women's basketball will be at North Central. Be sure to stay tuned to CWFalcons.com for more information. Again, happy Thanksgiving, and thanks for joining us for This Week in Falcons Athletics, presented by Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin.